Peace and love. I'll be back over there. I'm just going to close some tabs, show how I do this thing where I have to close tabs so that I can get back to where I left off. So last night I did a little communication with uh, someone who's on Ancestry who's saving my Jackson lineage, which I only found out about in recent times. And I want to close out. So the person that I was in contact with asked if I was related to Eddie Jackson, who was out of who was out of Peoria, Illinois, who had a son named Weddie, Weddie. Weddie is a name that is okay. So I could close that page. I'm trying to close out so that I could go back to where I was last week when I spoke on last week. Um, so what I want to do is I want to add. I came across something. This is my third great grandmother, Mary Jackson. My father's my father's grand great grandmother. So she's my father's great grandmother. So she's my great great grandmother actually. And we just, I knew that her and Frank Jackson right here were brother and sister. I didn't know about any of the other siblings because I only knew her and Frank were brother and sister because of their close proximity and some DNA connections. And then I started to see other connections and other siblings to show up via connecting that way. So, what I want to do here is while I was looking at this, I came across okay, this is Albert Jackson, one of the siblings. I have an 1870. I have an 1870 census report here where he is on it in the town of Marshall, Mississippi, with his mother. Chulahoma. That's an interesting place. I did a little research on that. Anyway, let's view it the way we see it. All right. So in 1870 on the census, you'll find that they don't put the relationship of the people. They only put them in some kind of order. So we have Albert Jackson here and Violet, who is 57, and I'm going to assume is his mother, and Sarah, who is 28 years old, and Frank, which is my who I see with Mary in 1880. I'm not aware of all of these other people, Sarah, Violet, or Albert at that time. I only find out about Albert, Violet, and Sarah when I meet this new family that we have connections with who have information about them. They don't know about Mary. So, anyway, so I'm assuming that Sarah she could be his wife. I don't have any idea here. I'll find out later that she's his sister via the other family who knows this information. So, so Albert, I have 1870 for him, but Sarah, for some reason, if I have this source linked to Sarah in 1870, it would show up right here if you could see my cursor. It would show up above her just like it was for Albert. You see Albert up here? See here? Albert right above or right underneath his name that's in a larger cap. You'll see the name. So that means I have not saved this to Sarah. So you know in 1870, you have to save people individually because they don't put a relationship. Sometimes they'll assume a relationship and they'll give it to you. Ancestry's database will offer them to you as a family unit, and they'll drop in. You could just drop them down. I hope that makes sense. I'll show you. But in this case, because of the age differences and how they're set up in the household, when you view it, the actual census report, they're not giving you that. So did I save 1870 to Frank? If I click on Frank's name here and he doesn't appear above, that means I don't have that source to Frank, but I do have it to Frank. Okay. Now Sarah does have a file, but I'm not going to link this to her yet. So this is not linked to Sarah yet. You have to link it, these 1870 and before 1870, you have to go through the hardship of linking the people individually in your tree. Otherwise, they won't have this source. So now what I want to do is I'm going to go back to Albert and I'm going to show you what I'm doing. And then I'm going to start closing this stuff out. Okay, so this is Albert. This is Albert's siblings that I already have saved. And this is Sarah, okay? As you see, well, Sarah should be older, and she is. She's older than him on that census report. I only know about Sarah being married to Colquitt because of the New Jackson family that I recently met, who has this information. Okay, so I can go back. I can go to my back key, and I can click on Sarah, and I can save her this as a source to her. So I'm going to save someone in my tree, and I'm going to type in Sarah slash her maiden name. Her married name, born in 1838 and attached. Now she'll have this source. Make sure the only thing different is a couple of years different on the year of birth. That's not unusual. So I'm saving that. Now what's interesting is that I have a 1880. I have an 1880 already saved for Sarah, right? She's already married. I only know about her because I wouldn't know that was Sarah. So I'm going to view the image and I want to show you something. I do not have anything more than an 1870 for Albert. Now look here. This is 1880. Sarah should be highlighted, right? There she is. So can barely read it. One of the tools, when you can barely read something, come over here where you have to the right. Hope you all see my cursor, anybody out there. And you can go to the tool chest, right? And it makes it easier if you have a hard time seeing this to invert the colors. And sometimes that makes it easier to see. Now I'm going to have to open this up a little bit more. Okay, so she married, this is Daniel, and then Sarah. Here's Sarah. Well, again, that ancestry's highlighting is off. Okay, but mm, so that's Daniel, and this is Sarah, but it's not. So I'm circling Sarah. There's Sarah. I know she's a Jackson um, because of that family. But look at here. Let's go up here a little bit. There's Albert Jackson, but he doesn't come down as any hints. See? So now I can start saving his family, not because somebody else has him in their tree, but because I know that's Albert. He's the right age and he's with his sister. So I'm coming out and I'm going to go to view the 1880 census, view the record, and in 1880, you can view others on the page. You can't do that in 1870. I don't think so. I think it starts 1880. And I'm going to go down here to Albert Jackson and I'm going to save him. And there are other hints there, so I can go back. I'm only going to save this one though, and then I'm going to get out of this. So here's my Albert Jackson. Let's see if that age, I have a chance to not save this. Yeah, the difference in the year, 4 years difference between 10 years on the census is not unusual. They just, it's just not. I think I already had that. He had a wife who was Alice Dean based on my new family connection. I don't think I had any of his children, so let's see. No children. So this is the first time that his children are being added. So we have Monroe, Harriet, Henry, Beulah, Brody. That's an interesting name, Brody Hull. And Daniel Jackson. Okay, I press save, and now that that's an additional source for Albert that Ancestry wasn't even giving me a hint for. So if I had not been just, you got to open up the census and you got to look up and down the pages. Go a page before, a page after, a couple of pages before and after, and you're gonna see your family because these people weren't driving. They were not far away from each other. You got to look up and down the pages. So let me show you what I mean by that. View 1880. View the image. To flip pages, you have to view the image. Okay? And you see here's an arrow here to the right, I'm circling. And here's an arrow here to the left that I'm circling. And to view, okay, I'm on page 19. I don't think that, yeah. If you see, I'm on page 19 of 66. And I'm going to flip to the page to the left. Okay? This is the way you have to do this. Like, it's tedious work, but, there are these deans that are part of Sarah's family. She married a dean. Well, no, he married a dean. Albert married a dean. I'm doing too much. Okay, so that flipped me to page 18. If you notice, all right, you go up and down and see who you see. You might find somebody you're looking for. Okay, go flip back. Mm-hmm. Flip again. See if I see any Jacksons. They might be kind of close. All right, so I go here. This is the only way that you can just see where they are. You flip the page, they together. All right, and because of the okay, I promise I'm getting ready to get out of this, but I want to point something out. So I'm back on page 20. Remember there, my source is on page 19. I'm looking for my family. Now I know that we're related to the Moors because I found them using my father's and his sister's DNA. I know that we're related to the Moore family. These are white Moors, though. That don't really mean a whole lot sometimes, though. Sometimes these like hijacks, I swear. But I see a Moore family. My Moore family is from North Carolina. So what I'm looking for, I'm just because I see a Moore nearby my relatives, I'm just looking to see, are they from North Carolina? No, they're from Tennessee. That's another thing. When you're looking for people, and I want to reduce this, go and see who else is from. Now I know people are from North Carolina. This is 1880. They are already in Mississippi by 1880. I'm looking over here, just anybody from North Carolina, right? You know, that's hard to see. I could always invert the colors. That makes it a little easier. Invert the colors, bring it up a little bit, and just generally page before, page after. That's really going too fast. You gotta go slower than that. You gotta not scroll with your fingers. You gotta use the down key. Sometimes that makes it slower. And just look. All right. So I'm getting out of this now. All right. So I've done what I came to do. I'm exiting that. I'll get back to that. Oh, peace and love. Y'all are hanging out this morning. I am so, you know what? Y'all are such a me. Gretchen, you are so funny. I have to tell you. Let me get off my share screen for a little while. I was looking at, I get up and sometimes I just scroll through and see um, what's going on out there. And Indigenous Realist has a Donahue show on, and I'll go through quick few comments, see what's going on. Gretchen says she missed Donahue and Trump was cute. That's keeping it real. He was cute back then. He was a lot more pleasant. Oh my goodness. Akia, hey, peace and love. Ty Hawk, I hope y'all still here. I know I'm just like rambling on a little bit this morning. Halito Ty Hawk. And so right, Grand Rising, y'all. So I'm just doing a little bit of genealogy, but that's not what I want to do today. I'm going to get started with what I want to do today in a minute. But what I want to do is I'm gonna go back to my share screen. What I want to do is, this right here, untitled document. Let me ask y'all something though. Is today March 4th? Well, not keep us up. How did I not see you there? Oh, okay. You might have just okay. Is today March 4th by chance? I got my phone here. Let me see. See, um, it is okay. Tuesday, March 3rd. Okay. I want to make sure that when I come over here. Oh, thank you, Akia. Aki. Okay, I want to make sure. So when I do these, It's March 3rd. I want to make sure that I do that. Now, what I'm doing here is okay. Say you're gonna do a live stream, right? You can't have a lot of tabs open, and especially if you're gonna be doing other things. So, what I like to do is keep that tab open. I don't remember why I was over here at Essie Brown Smith, but I remember this name right here, Theatrice, was a specific person that I was working on. It was a unique name, and unique names help me tremendously. Okay, you get a unique name like Weddy, who I was talking about earlier, um, Theatry, or something like that. The oldest, you see, they running it. They like this Theo thing. It's gonna run in the family. It's gonna be more. I almost see it all the time. So what I know is, if I go to hints, likely I'll have ancestor member trees, and I might be able to figure out why. So yeah, this might be a DNA connection. I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, and I've been trying to figure out this DNA connection because it ties into a really specific group of people that I have been trying to figure out the entire connection. Well, why are these people matching? Because I have a lot of known relatives who are matching, and these some people who are like fitting in, and they have big trees, but I can't figure it out. So just trying to figure it out. So I know it has to do with this Shaffy Brown. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here. I'm going to highlight. I'm going to do Control C. I'm going to come over to my untitled document, and I'm going to Control V, and there. Okay. Then I'm going to go back over here, and I can exit that tab. That tab is over, and then I'm going to come back here and just double check. I'm going to show you that I can go to this link, right? I think I could just touch here, touch here, and it should put me right back where I was. Okay. So I could close these links and know that I could come back, and I'll put a little note here that I am trying to figure the connection with SHAF Brown, I think it is, person also saving theatry. That's good enough, right? Now I tab down a few, and so that's a tab I could close. So, okay, so this is my Eddie Jackson that we know they came out of Vance, Mississippi. Before they came from Vance, Mississippi, the reason Vance, Mississippi is called Vance, Mississippi is because, okay, this is the when I opened my stream this morning, I was talking about a person who left me a message who was a new family connection of my Jackson lineage, asking me, am I related to Eddie Jackson out of Peoria? Well, Urbana, I think, is close to Peoria. I know my family was in Vance, Mississippi, and I know that this Eddie is the son of Frank. So they're probably talking about this Eddie or a son of this Eddie who now has a son named Weddy, a very unique name that's running through this family, this Frank Jackson's lineage. He's the only one that keeps naming, whose children keep up with that Weddy name. It didn't come with our family, but you know, our family changed from Jackson to Carver. Okay, so I want to close out Eddie. I saved what I wanted to save. I really don't have to um, do anything. I could just close it out because I could get back to it at some point, but I'm going to keep it. I'm going to Control C, go back over to my document, Control V, and there's my link. Underneath it, I'm going to put um, additional supporting, uh, what do you call it, sources for Eddie Jackson, son of Frank Jackson. I could just put J, yeah, but Jackson, I'll do it. Who is born 1860, and Frank is brother to my great Gma, Mary. Mary slash Carver, because I put married names. I put married names slash as if it was like a middle name, and I put the correct given maiden name of the people in my tree. So I know when I look at Mary slash Carver Jackson, I know I'm looking at Mary who married a Carver. That helps me. Okay, so now I can close that tab. Okay, that's this tab. I can close it. Okay, even with the suggested records and everything. If I go back to it, If I come over here and I go back to it, it should come back up with all that same stuff. Let's see. Let's see if it offers me everything. Even the, yep, suggested records and everything. It puts me right back where I was. All right, so just wanted to show you, okay, this one, I'll just do it so I can close it. Control C, come over here. Control V for dropping it in. And research DNA connection to a word. Phrases, I know what it is. Phrases out of Minden slash Oklahoma. TLB. This is just hands for me. TLB. Okay, I know what that means. All right, now I can close this one. Close that tab. And now we're back to what I want to talk about today. I didn't want to remove me. I want to stop my screen share. Okay, let's see what y'all talking about. Let's see if we got something here. Okay, we always pass down names in my family. Yep, that helps. It helps. What's the running name in your family, Akia? What's the first name you all pass down a lot? Unique names and names that come down, that people keep passing down help, I know, like right now, we still have some names passing down, like Rochelle, but it's only been one, two, three generations. There are not many names that I would have thought Lucius would have passed down a little more, but maybe somebody in the future. A lot of people pass down names in the middle name too. That helps though. It still helps. And okay, what I want to talk about is last week I was saying I want to start showing some representation on myself, my children, my grandchildren, that we could wear anytime. A bracelet, a hairpiece, you can wear it anytime. It's not any disturbance to wear or any safety hazard, like something like a huge, headgear, or a big, or something long like a long feather chain that could get caught up in it, but something that would identify us. Okay, Tyler and Tyrone. Yep, yep, yep. That's how you find people. That's Ty Hawk. Yeah, I bet I'm thinking, Ty, that you probably have one of those names, and that you either your father or grandfather, and then you have a lot of people too who are going to name their children after their brothers and sisters. That helps. That helps when you're doing genealogy. Uh, but so last week I was talking about this regalia. I really am interested, not even just for my family, but just interested in how would we represent ourselves as tribes, new tribes today. What can we take from? It's kind of hard to find a lot of information about the dress, and if it's practical. So what kinds of things would be practical that we can adopt to use for regalia today? And I remember, someone, said keep, make sure you keep a feather around. I do keep some feathers. I keep the feathers that I find on the ground, and uh, I don't let one go, unless it's really in some bad situation out there. But if I find a feather, I'm picking it up and I'm going to keep it. Um, and at some point, hopefully, I'll be able to use it in some way. But um, you know, it's reasonable to think that we can benefit from starting to show some representation, your specific family. Uh, or will you wear, let's just say, uh, women in particular? I'm talking from that point of view. All of the women, when you all meet and gather, you're going to wear your hair pulled up and you'll have a tail. And on the end of that tail, you'll wear beads that are purple, yellow, white, and clear. Everybody's going to do that. Everybody's going to do that. Okay, that's unique. It's easy. A little crazy maybe, but I don't think so. And the men, they might do the same thing. They might sport a tail with those same beads on it. That definitely will identify you. And you might not do it all the time, but when you guys gather, you might do something like that. You might wear a specific bracelet when you gather, and then you might wear it, all the time. So I thought, that was kind of important to me. So I started looking at, I could see clearly what the people who are today called Native American are doing. They have contests so you can see their regalia. Other than the contest, I don't know. So what you see when you look at the Native American representation in women are shawls that have long fringes on them, and they dance in them. And you see a hair garnishing that is like a feather. You see some things like that. Um, they carry like a fan. It looks like a fan. That's like a. It looks like a fan, but they carry it in their hand. You see something like that. You see dresses that have shingles on them. They do this thing where they kind of do, a jump around, and these are shingles, not fringes. Okay, so I see some of that that they've adopted, and it came from somewhere. Okay, probably came from stuff we were doing 200 or 300 years ago. Then I wanted to see, okay, what about the South American? This is North America. I was just talking about South America. Where they what is there today? What are they wearing today that represents their Indian heritage? And what you see of the South American Indian is you see the parades, which are now which are called the Carnival or Carnival, and they do these parades, which I'm thinking they probably like the Mardi Gras. And you see huge feathers. You see big feathers coming. This is the only representation I see. Is they may wear bikini, and they may have a specific kind of waist garment with shingles or fringes. Um, but generally, you see like uh, like feather wings, like you put your arms through it, like they had these butterfly wings, but only they're made of with feathers, big feathers, lots of colors. So that's the only representation I saw of the way that the Indian is represented. In Mardi Gras, the men wear huge feathered and uh, not just feathered, but really colorful um, regalia. That's not something you would wear every day. I don't think. I mean, it could be a problem. So what they wear on an everyday basis that show some kind of some kind of affiliation with their indigenous culture. I don't know what that is. So I got a lot of work to do there. Okay, so this takes me to what I saw. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to do a Google search of American Indians 1500s. I'm going to do images. Okay, I'm looking for some representation of what is regalia. I'm going to pick a picture in just a minute. There is a specific picture that I am looking for also. So let's go here. So from this, I can look at the oh, I can't see it this big there. I wasn't looking at the necklace as much as I was looking at okay, I can't really open that up. As I was looking at around her shoulders, it looks like coins and fringes. And this is like a drop shoulder. And then you have the beaded necklace. That's really fancy. And that is probably specific to Seminole, if I'm not mistaken. Here you see it here. This one is different. It's still consistent. Coins. I don't see fringes, but that's really dark. But the ruffles, the buckles, the necklaces, her hair up in a bun. Consistent. Those coins, the off the shoulder ruffle. Okay, that's something reasonable to kind of this kind of garment is not very difficult to see as being consistent, at least among the Seminole. Okay. Okay. So so there's some consistency. There's some consistency there. And just as an example of the kinds of things I'm looking at as alternatives. But what I wanted to say is that one of the things that I came across when I was looking for the carnival. Let's just go back with carnival culture and these people here. Just okay. So look, I'm just saying, I'm looking for something practical that I can pull from this. It's consistent. This is consistent um, with this, like the big feathers, lots of colors. This skirt, they might wear bikini, but this skirt where waistband with this pouch falling down the middle is consistent. See here? And then look at this one. See here? Not a bad idea. Something similar to that. Now, of course, depending on where you find your family, you know, you can pull something out. No, you can't. You're not gonna go to nowhere wearing this, daily. Because I'm talking about practical wear, things you can wear and work in too. I'm not just talking about. I'm not just talking about parading. I'm not talking about parading at all. I'm talking about designing. Let's see what she has here. So this is nice. This neck piece, nice. I have designed something similar to that. That could be something that is practical. Not maybe not as big as that, but something practical that someone could wear without it being a safety hazard or whatever. You could wear that. But this is the representation. Oh, that's pretty cool. I hadn't seen that. Caribbean culture. This is me and folk. Okay, let's see if we have. Is it still carnival time even? Let's see. Oh, so this year, okay, okay, I'm gonna try to stay focused, but okay. Um, when you talk about carnival, Mardi Gras comes up. It's definitely connected, right? They have the New York. They have different cities doing the different things, and but those are the types of representation. So this was written. I want to read that, y'all. This was written in 2016. You might or might not see that. So this is October 2016. So back October 2016, their description of what the carnival is. It was in October though. Now this year I'm seeing stuff in February. I don't know how they determine when these things are happening. But this is, I'm going to read. Le Monde Carnival takes place annually in homage to Christopher Columbus, the Italian explorer who discovered Le Monde in 1502 and is credited with ushering in economic progress. Following the establishment of Le Monde and its capital, Puerto Limon, immigrants from Europe, Africa, China, and the Americas settled in Costa Rica. Thus, the Carnival also commemorates the diversity of the nation's cultures. This year, the event is expected to run from, and it goes to find out more. So, in their identification of this annual homage, Le Monde Carnival or Carnival, Caribbean culture, they're attributing it to Christopher Columbus and the Italian explorer. Okay, they don't give any. Um, I'm just scanning through here, guys, trying to see if I see anything that specifically talks about the indigenous people's part of this celebration, right? Like, are they representing the indigenous Indian or are they representing slaves? Now, I didn't see anything that says slave that time. I wonder if the guys would, what kind of stuff they would consider wearing, you know. Let's just think, okay? Let's just hear me out, okay? Jeans, right? Jeans. But jeans that might have this fringe that goes from a, a portion, stopping maybe at, just 4 inches off the waist. That too much, guys? I see fringes on all of these. These are that, but this one here in the white, he still got some fringe. See, it don't got to be that much. It could be a little bit, but he still has the fringe down the seams. That's what's consistent. Okay, and then they have the headband. So there's no rest. There's no. I'm just okay. Traditional. Okay, let's read that. Dancers often accompany the parading musicians, and locals can be found dancing in streets at all time of day and night. One of the best times to witness some traditional dancing is at the grand parade, which takes place on the last day of celebrations. Traditional dancing, that's indicative of traditional people, or maybe the indigenous people, could be. It says here, I'm skipping down a little bit. I'm just looking for a few things. Many of the participants are men wearing dresses, which makes for some comical viewing as part of the children's parade. A game called Rasam is played, in which a man wearing a large mask chases other men around until he catches one of them, and then it's their turn to don the mask. It's like playing it, when you touch somebody and then they become the person that chase everybody. At the end of the day, fireworks are set. Okay, food and drink. I saw the word traditional again. I don't see it. Traditional fare with Caribbean flair. Caribbean. I hate saying Caribbean. I know that's not right. Arts and crafts. Okay, so they really don't talk about what they talk about. The comical part about the men wearing dresses, but they show this picture as a representation of this parade, and then they don't talk about who these people really are. Like here, you see the indigenous tribe representing their. They just skip over it. I'm coming back over there. Anybody still with me? Let's see. Akia says the U.S. fiscal year. Hey, love. I hope you're still there. I'm just rattling on this morning. Oh, Akia, look at your hair, girl. That is fly. I love it. Look at that. I love that. My hair is natural too. I wear my hair covered, but that's how my hair is right there. It looks like that. I just have to lay it down and put it in a ponytail to cover it. But I love that, girl. That's fly. Okay, let me stop. Okay, so you say here the U.S. fiscal year starts in okay. Oh, but that's the United States, but they were in the Caribbean islands, so I don't know. Okay, then you say Mardi Gras is a New Year celebration. It's in springtime. Okay. I get you. I see now. Can't forget about the second line. Ty Hawk, what do you, let me see. I don't know what that means, the second line. Um, can't forget about the second line. Ty Hawk, you still here? No, maybe. I wanna know what you mean. Okay. It's U.S. territory. Okay. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Ty. All right, I was just wondering what you meant. I didn't open up the phone lines. I'm gonna do that again soon. I just haven't yet, lately. Yes, the last week was real busy. This week is pretty busy too. That's why I got on early. We have a lot of stuff going on in the family. Uh, it's okay. Maybe you'll get back to that. But anyway, so I'm going back over here. I'm glad you're still with us though, Ty. I appreciate you. Love, you here? Love might have just came through. Send some love. I think love is not here. Okay. Okay, y'all. Look, I'm going back over. I'm going to go back over, and I'll come back. So, okay. So, project was regalia. Oh, this is cool. I like this. People probably cannot explain. I mean, I hate that. This says rich Caribbean arts, culture, and heritage. Oh, okay. See what that's about. I'm gonna exit this one. It says rich Caribbean arts, culture, and heritage take center stage for the 35th Miami Carnival. October again. You know what? Akia, I think you are right about this beginning of the year. They should say it, they could. Now this right here, this piece he got on right here, that's really cool. Imagine that, guys. You could do that over anything, right? It wouldn't this I'm talking about the piece that's going around his neck, down his chest, and it looks like it's attaching to a belt. You could put that over anything, and it looks like it's attached in the back so that it's like a belt going around his back so that it stays close to his body. But you could wear that over a shirt any day. Like it's like a tie. You could wear that just like it's a tie. That's hot. That's really cool. Um, that's practical. It's big. It's big. I mean, not, what I'm saying, not undoable. It's not unreal. It's not that it's not realistic. That's a really cool. I'm snapshotting that. That's a good thought. Something similar like that. Okay, and then let's see here. Okay, this is when was this? This is 2019. That's last year, October. Oh, that's just a few months back. I mean, that's not even 6 months ago, right? October, November, December, January, February, March, April. Right, that's not even 6 months ago. All right, let's see what it say here. Let me just want to just do a quick. All right. I just want to just scan this. I'm gonna just put it up and just kind of go through a few things. So this is the kind of stuff that they do in Miami for this heritage cultural celebration. It's presented by the Greater Miami Convention and Visitors Bureau, celebrating sweet rhythm and culture. I don't know. I'm writing down sweet rhythm because I don't know what sweet rhythm is. And then Caribbean Airlines, official airline of Miami. I guess these are just different people that are there. Junior Carnival presented by TD Bank set to celebrate and pass on culture to young people. Trinidad Massey All Stars Street Steel Orchestra. Okay, the steel drums. Appearances by TNT Gypsy, and Poser, Gypsy and TNT's Gypsy and Poser at Miami Carnival Panorama. Official Miami Carnival Joe Overt, presented by MoneyGram. Wonder what that was like. Over 15,000 masqueraders participating in the Miami Parade of Bands. Concert with top heavyweight soca artist. Soca. Okay, so I saw soca before. Is soca a tribe or something? Okay, I wrote it down. Creative artisans and artists set to showcase three free park and ride locations, one carnival location, one movement. All right. This surprises me. This head this I clicked on it. It won't go. But her wearing, I'm saying mask, but her wearing this face covering. I haven't seen that much of that. So I didn't see that much. I don't think I saw that before. I'm not gonna stay here long. I just wanna. I see it says Miami Carnival continues its long-standing tradition of providing a kaleidoscope of Caribbean cultures under one umbrella. The events also consists of a thoughtfully curated celebration of the Caribbean through paganetry, pageantry. I don't know that word. Pagan, pageantry, music, food, and arts. Okay, I imagine it means through the culture of the, I don't know what that is. Okay. Crafts and cultural experience. They be saying something without saying nothing. I mean, they not really saying much. They not talking about, you know, exactly what that means. So infectious vibes and energy of some 35 soca music ambassadors. Okay. Okay, that's really, oh, and they've been doing this for over 35 years. Okay, let's see what this says. For over 35 years, Miami Carnival has endeavored to be the nucleus of Caribbean culture during every Columbus Day weekend. Okay, it's going with the Columbus Day weekend in South Florida. It is critical for the sustainability of the carnival that all our community stakeholders support the sanctioned main events of the carnival calendar, including the Junior, I'm going to say Carnival, sorry, Carnival, Panorama, Jovert, and Parade of the Bands. These key Miami Carnival events created a platform of cultural tourism for other feats and themed parties to exist for the catering public and should not conflict, especially with the main day of our parade of the bands. All community members are encouraged to support the carnival's core programming in every way possible. This is what the state's Joan Hinkson said. Oh, that's what she stated. She's the board chair. They talk about Caribbean culture, but what about it is Caribbean culture? They talk about that, but they say they try to give it to Christopher Columbus. Residents and visitors will be able to find their love of heritage. But what heritage though? Music. That's what they have to be talking about. Music, fellowship, music, okay, and vibrant costumes and lively masquerades. The fusion of Caribbean culture and tradition will keep attendees captivated. You know, so these are the places. This is the soca concert lineup. I'm just going to go through the places they call out: Trinidad, Grenada, Bahamas, Guyana, St. Lucia, Jamaica, or Jamaica, Barbados, Haiti, Antigua. Okay, those are the, so since we can deduce here. So since they are talking about heritage and culture and, all of that, we know, probably food there, but these are the concerts, and these are the places that are representing in Miami. These are the islands that are representing the culture. And I guarantee there is nothing in these carnivals that is no events or tables probably that are going to deal with the history of these places that I just, that went through and named, the history and the indigenous people, that, that these are not just costumes, but these are somehow representing the attire, the regalia of the indigenous people of these places. So now I'm going to look up, I'm going to go with, Antigua, right? And I'm going to just go history of Antigua, which is Guatemala. Okay. It's just like a general search, right? Okay. Wikipedia. We're going to use Wikipedia. It's just general. Antigua, Guatemala, which is a Spanish. Oh, I take it that Guatemala is not pronounced like that. It's like Guatemala. I don't know. They don't seem to have a hard G. Okay, commonly referred to Antigua. They take the Guatemala out. Known for its preserved Spanish Baroque influenced architecture, as well as a number of ruins of colonial churches. Capital of the Kingdom of Guatemala. History. I'm just looking for something that will help me understand who are the indigenous people of that place. Is there any representation of them when you look at what they say in history? Let's see here. Antigua, Guatemala means Old Guatemala and was the third capital of Guatemala. The first capital was founded on the site of a Cacaquil Maya city, now called this. On Monday, July 25th, 1524, the day of St. James, and therefore named something that means that city of St. James. Uh, Naturally, St. James became the patron saint of that city. What about before then? So Cacaquil, I think I know that. I think I know that. So anyway, I want to go here to I'm gonna click here on, this is what that place is now called. It's a pre-Columbian Mesoamerica archaeological site in the western high grounds of Guatemala, capital of Cacaquil, Maya. Here we are. kingdom from 1470 until its abandonment. Okay, they said it was abandonment. In 1470, I mean, in 1524, it was abandoned. So this place that we now call Antigua, which was called Antigua, Guatemala, so they kind of take off the Guatemala, and it is now being called this Ixmac or whatever, was first called Caciquel Maya, the Mayan people. I'm sure of it. And it says from 1470 until its abandonment, that's what it was called. We're going to click there. So they say they abandoned it. The Caciquels, Annals of Caciquels. No pictures. You see the pictures start fading away. They not want to tell us that what these people looked at, right? Post classic Maya civilization. Just keep going back. You could start seeing. I don't know if we could see that. Okay, that's the only picture they have. Uh, prehistoric Mesoamerica, Paleo Indian, first in human habitation is 3500 BCE. Paleo Indian period. So then, they had this outline here. You see words like Olmec in there now. You're starting to see the history of the Paleo Indian. Okay, so what I'm going to do, so we know we're talking about Paleo Indians, we know we're talking about the Mayan, and then you even see references, just quick references that they're going to be talking about Olmecs in here. So I'm going to use my back key. So now I want to just do Antigua, Guatemala, and I want to do, I don't know what happened, but I'm doing Antigua, Guatemala, and then I'm going to do ancient history, and I'm going to do images. And let's see when we see a first representation of people. Mermaids. The mermaids, I starting to see other pictures down there, but I want to stop here first. That's amazing here. So the way that they have the mermaids, and they're using as if the water is milk. The water of Guatemala is the milk of the mermaid. That's definitely what they insinuate in there. And I heard that they recently found 10,000 or more pyramids underwater in Guatemala. the top museums in Antigua, Guatemala. So this is some of the art. All right, yeah, they don't want to show people. So let's see. There we go. What is this? Spanish School, Antigua, Guatemala. Watch the Antigua School video. I don't know how long that'll be. Let me come over here and see if anybody's still with me. Y'all here? Anybody here still? Okay. Oh, you okay? You. So Hawk said that. Ty Hawk says, let's see. The second line is a tradition in parades organized by social aid and pleasure clubs, SAPC, with a brass band parades in New Orleans, Louisiana, United States. The main line or first line, okay, the second line is a tradition in parades. With the brass band. The main line or first line parades in New Orleans, Louisiana, United States. Okay, I think I'm getting them. So now I want to know what SOP, I mean SAPC. I never heard of these pleasure clubs. Okay, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do a little research on that right now. I'm gonna end this, but okay, I just want to say that you can see here clearly when you do start to see a representation of Antigua, that when they do finally start showing you people, ancient people, that you are looking at people who look like us, and they don't definitely want to stay on the buildings. What is this picture here? Oh, they into these mermaids. But that okay, look at that. Look at this one. They into these mermaids. Now the thing is, I had a hard. I can't. Okay, yes I did. Look at him up there. Look at his hair. I'm sure that's supposed to be hair. Why would it be anything other than hair? Y'all see that? I'm gonna snap shoot it. So when you do start seeing representation of people, human, what look like human anyway. No, that's not it. You see something that looks like us, even if it is a mermaid or has some reference to um, being a mermaid. Was we mermaids? Yeah. We probably so far removed from the water at this point. I mean, probably not everywhere though. What is this? Okay, so I didn't know, but Antigua has some has some they dealing with that water. I'm do ancient people, and then I'm gonna do a little research on that pleasure club. I want to know a little more about that. So now this is Antigua, Guatemala, ancient people, specifically images. Let's see if we can find what they have as a representation of the people. Ancient people, y'all, they still don't want to show nothing. Now they know they have representation of ancient people. I'm sure of it. But they don't want to show nothing. So this is a whole, you know, Google search. And I'm scrolling down and I don't see no ancient people, no representation of ancient people. This looked like an aerial view over here. They still on the building. Look at them. They don't want us to know. They do not want the world to explore the idea that the people okay, there's some backs of some people that look like they're trying to say are indigenous people. Well, what's this? This is ruins, and this is a tour. This gonna be it. Then I'm gonna get off of this for a little while. But I want to see what does this look like. What is this? What? This is pyramids. Look at that. I'm gonna look good up close on that. This is interesting. This is a tour of some ruins there. $215 to 180. Okay, children 3 years old under 3 go free. Do not require a reservation. You have to have your passport on the day of this tour to Copen, as we'll be crossing the border between Guatemala and Honduras. Interesting. So this is a tour that is including hotel pickup and drop off, English and Spanish speaking guide, breakfast, visit to Copen Archaeological Park. You got to dig to figure out what's going on in Antigua, Guatemala. And you better have some money. Okay. And so the tour is a 1 day tour, 16 hours. That's pretty. The UNESCO World Heritage Site is full of Mayan sculptures representing the reigning dynasties, tree style statues made of stone, which were also used as sundials. After touring the Kingdom of the Sun, you'll have free time to continue exploring Copen archaeological ruins at your own pace or enjoy lunch at a local restaurant if you don't want to hang out in there with your after you paid that kind of money to go there. I'm not going to no local restaurant. Um, Arriving in Copen, you'll see one of the best preserved Mayan cities in Central America. Will embark on a guided tour of the different areas of the complex, discovering the temples and sculpted monuments that have been recovered during excavation. One of the most spectacular features of the ruins is the pyramid located in the Patio del Sol, or Sun Courtyard, in the main square, which was used by the Maya to observe the solaces and equinoxes of the sun. So this is stuff they probably bought to this place, I guess. So look, let's see. Let's see. Do we see our representation in these? Do we see us? They don't want us to see it. That's supposed to be person. And then this person you can't see. Oh, what is that supposed to be? A dog? Person? Maybe. No, no, no. No, I guess that's supposed to be a big ear, eyes. This is probably supposed to be a little person. And these are ruins. That's interesting. But they don't talk about that. They don't talk about that regarding this parade. They don't talk about that. Mm-mm. Coping ruins. I know I said that I'm ancient capital. Plaza Man is the ancient capital. Oh, is this a little culture going over here? Or what is this? Vibrant colors of Antigua. Art, people doing things, but what's this? Street vendors. The street vendors should represent some sort of indigenous people, right? I'm just trying to see what the indigenous people supposed to look like. Uh, the people that are local people of Chic. These are the local people of Guatemala, according to them. I don't know. They don't. They sure don't. They sure don't want to show the people. Not really. Look, back of heads. It's like they told them everybody turn around. This is crazy to me. Like I don't like this. Don't make no sense. You can see ruins. I don't know. I just I'm not asking for too much. Backs of heads. Oh, that looked like a wedding or something that went on there. Oh, what is that? Is these are these people who went to Guatemala to get married? Is that what you're saying? Or are these supposed to be people from Guatemala? I don't understand that. Okay. It looks like these might be like rich people that oh, this is an actor. This is his family. Maybe this is he went to Guatemala to get married. Why did you pick Guatemala? Why Guatemala? Does he have some connection to Guatemala? Yeah. Maybe they just picked Guatemala just cause. Now I get it. That I recognize him. He's the one. He's the guy that played in Get Out. Uh-oh. Look at here. A finally some pictures of old Guatemala. Just maybe in here you see some representation. Mm-mm. Okay, it says throughout its history, the city known as Antigua, Guatemala, was repeatedly damaged by earthquakes, and always the Antiguas rebuilt bigger and better. But on July 29th, 1773, the day of Santa Marta, earthquakes wrought such destruction that officials petitioned the King of Spain to allow them to move the capital to safer ground, which is present day Guatemala. Antigua was left to rusticate largely, but never completely abandoned. Back to their buildings. They not going. They no. You got to dig for it. You got to dig for it. So I just want to see if I can see. what is, what, if anything, is going on here. Yeah, no way to really see. Ancient people of Guatemala, Antigua. Oh, wow. It looks like I've looked at all of this. That said I was going to stop. Oh, look who they show. This is the Kichi people carrying their loved ones' remains after an exhumation of a Civil War massacre site in Cumbia, Cumbia. Oh, little caskets. They like little caskets. How is that? Okay, I got to stop somewhere, right? All right, now I'm going to look up pleasure. I know it's more than that. I know it's more than that. But I'm started with pleasure. Pleasure. Um, okay, I do the whole thing. I got to come back there to get it. Okay, the Thai says these funerals, while not as wild and colorful as the famed Mardi Gras parades, are truly something to behold and to be a part of. Funerals, you said funerals. Are you saying funerals or parades, or are you meaning funerals? Because I think that I seen that was one of the things I was trying to get to, was that that the parade looks like it was originally funerals. It looks like the parade, the original premise of a parade was a funeral. That's what I've been seeing lately. Like when I look back. Like one of the first pictures that Sir Riley, I think, painted or had painted, was the observation of the South American Indians doing this, this process of how they managed their dead, and it looked like a parade. Um, okay. I feel like I'm on to something. Okay, but what I wanted to finish up with, and then I'm gonna to end the live. I don't know how long I've been going, but I know it's been more than an hour. So yeah, hour and 30 minutes. But I want to look up what this SAPC, which is, okay, social aid and pleasure clubs. Okay, you said is the main section of the parade, or the members of the SAPC with the parading permit as well as the brass band. Okay, okay. The second line is a group of mourners, revealers, mourners, like the mourners, like at with the funeral. Like this is the whole thing. The whole thing of the parade is like the funeral, like the celebration of life. Like it's something like that. Usually marching solemnly. You saying it? That's right. That's what. That, you know what? That's why I named this coincidental with a question mark, because it is no coincidence. That's what I was seeing. Right. Usually marching solemnly to the grave, then dancing and celebrating on the route away from the grave. You know what? That's really unbelievable. That's unbelievable to me. You telling me to scroll up? Okay, these funerals, well, not as well. Okay, now I see. See now, yeah, right. I'm sorry. I'm doing it the backward way. That now I understand what you're saying. These funerals, while not as wild and colorful as the famed Mardi Gras parades, are truly something. Right, right. So the Mardi Gras parade is supposed. I mean, so is have I mean, do they indicate that is what that was all about? Have you seen that? Like people identifying that the Mardi Gras is actually the procession, mimicking the procession of the way that the indigenous people managed and dealt with their dead. I mean, am I behind or am I missing something? Because like this is new to me. I'm just like sort of like just like light bulb on. That's what this is all about. And they want to make it about Christopher Columbus, but it's not. It's not. It's the tradition of the indigenous people celebration of life, the managing and handling of the dead, and the celebration of life. That's what it is. These parades, the carnivals. I mean, they turned it into a carnival, but what it really is the celebration of life. And as a matter of fact, my children have family. Their father's family came from New Orleans, right down. They go to Mardi Gras often. I never been to Mardi Gras, but they do. And there was a recent funeral here in Chicago for one of the young men died here, one of their uncles, and they brought umbrellas, and they brought umbrellas to the burial ground when they bury him. And the people, from New Orleans, I didn't quite understand it. I mean, I saw it though. They were, they used those umbrellas and they, paraded. They paraded down to the burial ground and paraded after. It was only like about 5 or 6 people, but that's what they did. That confirms that's exactly what Mardi Gras is about. So I don't know, you know, I still gonna do this because I said I was. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna do Pleasure Club, social social aid and pleasure club, New Orleans. Social aid and pleasure clubs. These groups are rooted in community activism. Okay. Strutting and jumping and high stepping beneath their decorated parasols, blowing whistles and waving feathered fans, African American members of New Orleans social aid and pleasure clubs are the organizers, originators, and sponsors of the second line parades for which the city is famous. In his autobiography, Satchmo, My Life in New Orleans, Louis Armstrong wrote that he was a child. To watch those clubs parade was an irresistible and absolutely unique experience. Every time one of those clubs paraded, I could second line with them all day long. And in 1949, the Zulu Social Aid and Pleasure Club asked Pops to reign as king in the Zulu parade. Look at us. They don't want us to have no culture. We got culture all day. And some of the culture we have is indigenous culture. I mean, meaning that it is culture that has been established over time for the American Indian. They want to contribute this kind of stuff to the celebration of the end of slavery and stuff like that. That's crap. That is a we gotta. That's amazing. I'm gonna stop scrolling, and I am going to um, just talk for a few minutes, and then I'm going to uh, let me get out of here. Got a busy day ahead, and I'll just say that it's a true joy to find some sort of commitment to seeking culture amongst the American Indian who has now realized that that's exactly who you are, looking for what remnants we can find that speak to our indigenous past and make that knowledge available to the generations who are coming so that they don't believe, they don't fall for the hype that these celebrations are just some carnal, savage celebration because now slavery is over. What a joy it is to come amongst like minded people who either know better or want to know better. Oh, you just pulled up? You know what? I think I'm gonna try tomorrow. I think I'm gonna try to come back on tomorrow. Um, I'm gonna see. You know, I usually do at least one of the days. I really want to do some more, on this. Just looking at the true root of these parades. That's what I really want to get to the bottom of. Okay, I'm gonna try. I appreciate you being here, Tahoe, um, and sharing and sharing that with me because that was like a mountain right there. You know, you kind of feel like you on to something and you're seeing some things, but you just don't know. Especially being, and I've been around people who are from New Orleans. That's part of my children's family, and I hear them, but because I haven't experienced it for myself, I didn't come from that place. You just don't know. You don't know like they know. They were there. They grew up in New Orleans. They talk about the parades, but I never heard them refer to the parade, the Mardi Gras, that is. I never heard them refer to it as historically being related to funerals. That takes some digging. So I really appreciate you. I'm going to try to do this again tomorrow morning, probably really early because so much is going on right now. We actually had death in the family. I don't want to get emotional, so I won't talk much about it. But in that, uh, which is why I said coincidental question mark. And in that, I am looking at all of these places that I'm looking for this regalia search, leading to some of the first practices that were observed here when the people who came here as colonizers got here was the was the observance of our funeral procession, and I was actually trying to find that picture that Sir Raleigh had painted or put, drawn, where the indigenous people are, they're by water though. They're, which New Orleans is by water, but they weren't in New Orleans. These were people in South America, and they had like the skeleton bones hanging, like they were, drying them out, and then they were taking them into the water. You know, thank you. I am. You know what? Like all I keep getting is that it's a celebration of life. Yes, we're gonna have some mourning. We'll miss people when they go, but we have to remember to celebrate life. And as it appears, that's a part of our culture. So I'm right on with it. So I'm gonna try tomorrow morning. I'm gonna try tomorrow morning. It'll probably be early, somewhere 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and so maybe you'll be there. Thank you for sharing about the social aid, the second line. These are things I have, I don't know anything about, but it has everything to do with our culture. I appreciate you. And with that, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to, what is it that I'm gonna do? I'm going to play my little soundtrack as I exit, kind of just like this beat.